Severe weather events in Queensland are part of what we live with, really. We deal with disasters on an increasing frequency, it seems. And one of the most fundamental important things when we're dealing with this thing is bring the community back to normality. We're particularly interested in what the university sector can produce here. The changes into the most recent state disaster management plan have given the area of research as a topic for special focus of the Office of the Inspector General Emergency Management. We have a research advisory panel that gets together most interested parties and tries to connect and advise about the areas of research that we think are most relevant to the disaster management sector. We think we're different up in Queensland. There's lots of research that goes on further south, but actually there's a great potential here to use the institutes who live and work in the Queensland environment to really drive forward the research relevant to us. When we get disasters, obviously there's a role for government, and particularly with logistics and food supply, it is helping community get what it needs. But it is helping. Government is here to provide a safety net for the most vulnerable. We use the levers that government can do. Opening hours, for example, deregulating those, allowing local shops to open beyond what they're normally permitted to. So that's where government helps, but it is only a help. I've spent hours on the phone to Coles and Woolies, for example, talking about how they supply their shops, how the fact actually that they need to collaborate, because if, for example, one of them doesn't get its food supply through and the other one does, then the other one will run out quicker and then it will look bad. So it's in its interest for everybody to have availability of stock. So this whole business of food chain and food continuity in communities that have been disrupted by disasters is vitally important. There's got to be another level. And this is where this idea of business continuity is so important in disasters. Businesses operate, the ones I talked about, Coles and Woolies, are really good at that, ensuring their businesses, ensuring their supply. Let's take that at a lower level to the local shops. What have they got in place to help this business? And this is where we need probably a little bit more work on a community basis to share responsibility to look for solutions. So in this important area of food supply, this is another thing we can do. Tap into the organisations that are around in the community on a local place-by-place basis. We've often said in Queensland that one size doesn't fit all, so it's really important that the place-based solutions are contextualised, that suit the communities that come up with them. And they've got to be innovative in the ways that they do that. And only people on the ground in those places will know what works. But thinking outside the box, taking responsibility that government is essentially allowing in this area is really important if those responsibilities are shared.